Hello, my name is Kachel Godoy, and this is vlog number 2. Personality is defined in Chapter 5 in the textbook as a sum of ways in which an individual reacts to and interacts with others. There are multiple ways to measure personality, such as the Myers-Briggs test, but the most widely accepted one is the Big Five personality test, which is regarded as the most consistent due to the fact that it evaluates the same 5 traits in every person: conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, openness, and neuroticism. Of these 5, conscientiousness and sometimes extroversion is hailed to be the most desirable characteristics in an employee, since it seems to be the best indicator of a disciplined work ethic. However, according to the required reading, Personality and Job Performance, the Big Five Revisited, they continue this research on the correlation between personality and job performance and conclude that global measures of the conscientiousness dimension have a rather moderate impact on performance. Essentially, there's somewhat of a relationship between the two, but it's not as strong as other research has believed. So, if personality does not have as big of an impact on performance as was once assumed, then why even consider it at all? Well, it may be that companies are trying to find a more effective way to screen their employees since they have very little access to information on their candidates. Interviews are not always reliable and do not reveal the true nature of a person. They want to present their best selves, and they may lie in order to do so. At least with the personality test, companies can get a better understanding of how well an individual will fit into their team and into their work environment, such as their willingness to work with others and to communicate. Of course, this also has its limitations because people can also lie in the test, and traits typically deemed positive for job performance can also be counterintuitive. At the very least, these tests can generate a better understanding of candidates and current employees regarding their motivations and behavioral tendencies, but cannot be relied upon to be entirely predictive of how an employee will react. Based on my own research, I found that there's actually a new method that combines the two, and it's called behavioral interviewing, and essentially asks a candidate about their past experiences that exemplify certain skills, knowledge, behavior, and personality. According to Forbes, Google uses this, but it structures it in a way that allows HR to perform analytics and prove that certain responses reliably predict employee performance. This could be a revolutionary way for companies to hire more suited employees and give candidates a fair chance to present their capability and personality during the interview process. And I was actually hired at an after-school program that used a personality test as my initial screening. This test was also taken by the students in order for them to create classes with teachers that best fit the students' behavioral tendencies. For example, I tested to be very extroverted and also higher than average on openness, so they gave me the more difficult and highly active students. This actually worked out because I was able to have more patience with them and incorporated some of their ideas with activities that allowed them to show off their energy and personality while also keeping them under control. Therefore, personality can aid in determining suitability and job performance, but cannot be expected to be a consistent and always accurate predictor. Thank you!